So here we are. You've spent hours and hours and hours dreaming up your game idea, thinking it through in your head, trying to imagine how it would play through, trying to envision that in your head. And now we're kind of at the point where, we've exhausted that. We've done as much mental thinking and mental designing as much as we can. Now it's time to actually try out our game ideas and see if they're going to actually work, see if they work how we thought they would, and we want to make multiple adjustments as well. So we're going to do prototyping and playtesting. That's our next step. This lesson is to give you some tips, maybe some tricks on, well, how does that work? How do you do that for game design? And again, our ultimate goal is we want to make multiple adjustments to our game idea. That's our big, big goal. So of course we got our game design process here. We create ideas. Let's specify those, clear them up a little bit. Let's test them out. So that's the big thing that we're doing now. And then we're going to keep going around in this circle until we're satisfied. So a couple things I want you to think about here is if we think of this continuum or this line here, we were at line 0 or number 0 prior where we kind of didn't have any ideas. And then now maybe we're at like a little bit further in here. Now we have some ideas and we're ready to move further. So something I want you to think about is like any human can come up with ideas. Any human. Like just throw out all kinds of ideas, whether they're good or bad. Like anybody can do that. It's like a monkey with a light bulb here. We're all just monkeys throwing all kinds of ideas out there. And I want you to think about that's not like people don't get hired really for just having ideas. Like you throw 100 people in a room, all 100 people can come up with some sort of ideas. We're not just going to like hire all 100 people to create ideas. It doesn't make sense. What really matters is the other 99% of the journey. So coming up with ideas is really only like 1%. 1% of the journey, just coming up with ideas. And then what truly matters is what you do 99% of the other time, like finishing the process, executing those ideas, like actually executing those ideas. And like that's where I'm saying 1% ideas, and then going through this design process, going through it until you eventually somehow end up with a finished product. That's where this journey, like that's where the majority of this journey is testing your ideas and making adjustments as you go. So that's my challenge to you, is to playtest numerous times and keep making adjustments. When we are prototyping our game designs, we want to make just the most important parts. So if there's some flashy, fluffy stuff that we don't really need, we're not going to make that. We just want to make the core main parts of our game so we can actually test those out and play with them. So if that means the game board, the game pieces, you might need dice, character cards, whatever. So those are things that you might need. A big tip is we want to use paper or other cheap objects. And we want to make it rough and ugly first. Like this is actually pretty clean and nicely done for our prototypes. It doesn't need to be this clean. And the reason why is because when we're prototyping this early on, it's just quick, rough, and ugly. Test and see if your ideas work. Test and see how you can improve your game and the different rules, mechanics, those types of things. A big recommendation I have for you is anything that you're writing on or drawing on is use pencil. So if you're drawing a board, maybe there's different connections on the board, or you got character cards with rules, those types of things, is use pencil so you can actually erase, and we want to make adjustments on the fly. So if you're doing like character cards and those types of things, you shouldn't even be using color. Just use pencil. It's okay. If your game uses some sort of cards or other parts that have drawings or characters or whatever, is just keep them only the most important info on these items. Like, so if I'm doing a Magic the Gathering card, maybe I have the character name, and then I have like what is it capable of, its points or what health, whatever. So I don't like need a fancy quote about them or some magical explanation. It's just put the mechanics on there, get the name and what it does and so on. Also for your, like if you're going to draw on these cards or other items and so on, just do like simple drawings, very, very simple drawings. Stick figures are perfectly fine. So if you look at, for example, if you're doing a Harry Potter card, okay, well then you draw a stick person Harry Potter and it's perfectly fine. If you're drawing a Groot card, then you draw a stick figure of Groot. Stick figure of Groot. Get it? Here's kind of another example of somebody that created a prototype for their game. I would say that this is even nicer than your rough prototype needs to look. They have color and their symbols look pretty good. Our rough prototypes can be uglier than that. That's okay. We want to save time when we're doing our rough prototypes. So think about what existing game parts could you use. Could you use a checkers board for your game? Could you use checkers pieces? Are there existing dice that you could use? What parts are you going to have to make? Maybe you have to make a special dice for your game. Maybe your dice has to have certain symbols on the sides or something like that. So, okay, make a paper dice. Is there something that you can maybe print out that works for your game? Maybe your game you want like a hexagonal type play field. So maybe print out hexagonal type graph paper. When you are playtesting, the more playtesting you have done and the more people you have playtesting, the better. If it's just you and one other person always playtesting, you're not going to get as much feedback. Mix it up. Have different family members or friends play it and see what kind of feedback they give you. A big challenge I have for you is to let other people play your game and for you to not say anything. Just observe them, stand back and watch. You will learn a lot about your game. You will learn what they don't like, what they don't understand, how they will try and break your game, those types of things. Tip number 3, make adjustments on the fly. So as you're watching people play your game or while you're playing your game, it's okay to just politely pause the game and say, you know what, this idea here is not working. I'm going to adjust the values on that. Maybe you have to add some rules, or maybe remove some rules, or maybe you have to like just completely reset the game. Like, it's perfectly okay to adjust stuff while you're playing. That's what you should be doing, because then you don't have to wait for the whole game to finish. Tip number 4, it's okay, like you don't have to completely play through the whole game. Maybe you just want them to play the intro part, the starting part, and see how that goes. Have them do that. Maybe you want them to play from the middle to the end. Well, then set up the board for them in terms of like how the game might look halfway through. So, and then of course you can just stop it. If you know it's not working, then just stop the game and make adjustments and then have them try again. You're going to want to record, tip number 5, record how long it takes to play your game from start to finish. If it's taking like an hour, then, and you don't want it to take an hour, which you probably shouldn't, then you're going to have to adjust that. That's too long. So just keep in mind to record how long it takes to play so you can keep that data and as you make rule adjustments, get closer and closer to the amount of time that you want your game to take to play. So through playtesting, here's a list of things. Here's some examples of things that we want to determine. This is not just it. Here's just some examples that I can come up with that you should be thinking about. So number 1, what ideas did not work and what needs to be scrapped? It's okay to throw away rules. It's okay to completely throw away rules. It's perfectly fine. What ideas are on track but need to be adjusted? You should be adjusting things. What are some new ideas to try? So when you play test, you should be thinking about, oh, what if I did this here, or if I did that there? Maybe that idea could change or improve the game. So also, in general, what rules need to be adjusted, removed, or added? What values need to be adjusted? Maybe a player can move too far on a turn. Maybe a player can do too much on a turn. Maybe a player has too much health on a turn. I don't know, but just think about what values should be adjusted. The actual win-lose condition, how should that be adjusted? Should certain values related to that be adjusted? Or should how they win be adjusted? Player choice and forming strategies. How could you make that even more authentic? How could you give that more depth? Risk versus reward. How could that be improved and feel more genuine? Be more fun? That risk versus reward element, huge part of fun in your game. How could you improve the balance of skill versus luck in your game? Think about that and make adjustments. Try it out. The difficulty of your game, how could that be adjusted to provide a better experience? Number 12, was the gameplay length longer or shorter than desired? And then how can you adjust it that way? So these are just some guiding questions for you to think about how to improve and modify your game. You should be thinking about these while you are playtesting. The most important thing that we should be doing is continually making adjustments, playtesting those adjustments, and improving. This is something that should be happening multiple times. We should be playtesting, improving multiple times. So I hope you have fun doing that and making your creation, taking your creation from something that was just here's a rough idea to now we're moving it down this way to something that's going to be awesome in a finished product. So I wish you luck. I look forward to hearing your progress and how awesome your game is.